Hey everybody, Chef Andrew Doyle here. Welcome to episode 2 of Eat, Taste, Live Live. Today we are welcoming Andy Dugan and Charlene May into the studio. We are going to be making some delicious Italian treats. We're going to be on the lighter side today, but we're going to have fun. It's going to be delicious. Follow me and let's get cooking. So how are you guys doing today?
Very good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm waking up. It's 11 o'clock here. It's 2 p.m. for our people that are viewing us. Thank you to everyone who is joining us. We can't do this without you. We appreciate your support and everything you're doing. Everyone that's out there supporting us, we really, really appreciate it. So today, one of my favorite things to do is Italian food. Love Italian food. Anything around the Mediterranean is delicious. It's light, it's free, it's fresh most of the times. We kind of get away with that with our cooking in America. I think it's, fast and restaurants and carry out and to-go stuff pre-made. But, when you can take the time to really make your stuff at home, it's just yummy and delicious. So today we're going to be doing a caprese salad. And then after that, we're going to be doing a spring vegetable ravioli. And we'll go through the vegetables and everything when we get there. And we're going to finish that off with a light lemon cream herb sauce. Not quite an Alfredo, but close. So that's it. You guys are doing good? You're ready to eat? You're hungry?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. You guys at home? Good? Ready to eat? Hungry? Awesome. All right, let's get into this. We are going to start with the cheese for the caprese salad. Now, the caprese started in around 1950 on the island of Capri. It was just, hey, we're going to make some stuff. Traditionally, you'll see it plated out with fresh mozzarella, basil, olive oil, some balsamic vinegar. We're going to do a little bit something, a little twist on it, because I like to break rules every now and then. And it's this way, we're going to twist it a little bit, make it unique, make it our own, and make it a little more delicious. So, we are going to start with our chèvre. Instead of mozzarella, this is a goat cheese. It's great, it's flavorful. So we got that. This is our chèvre coming in here for everybody.
Nice.
This is about 1 cup of chèvre going into the bowl. The other thing that I like to have on hand when I'm cooking is an herb blend. Fresh over dry. The dry ones they're not as bold. So we've got this nice little herb mix here, and the things that I put in this are basil, rosemary, thyme, and a little bit of fresh oregano. Just chop them up, mix them all together, equal parts, and go. It's tasty. It's good to have on hand when you're cooking, you're sauteing, omelets,
And
pastas.
you're saying it should be fresh.
Yes.
That's what I always hear.
I love fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh is just great. So we're going to put about good pinch in here. It's about a tablespoon's worth. We're going to throw a pinch of salt in here and a pinch of pepper. I suggest too, like if you're making this at home, to leave the cheese out. You can set it out for about 15-20 minutes, let it get soft. It'll be a little bit easier to mash. Use a little wooden spoon. Now you can also, I like putting lemon juice in this sometimes. If you're in for that citrusy kind of flavor with it. But you are going to get some acidity and everything from the balsamic that we're putting in here. And then this is just going to mash in together. So what's going on? What do you guys got going on? Got any shows coming up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm at the Improv May 19th.
Good for you.
So that'll be a fun 7 o'clock show.
Excellent.
It's amazing.
The Hollywood Improv.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Excellent.
Good for you. You know what? I'm going to the Great American Comedy Festival. That's Johnny Carson's festival that I just got into in Norfolk, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
So
Wow.
I get to go to Nebraska and do like my TV 5 for. So it's a pretty good. That's it for me though. We're just working up to practice for that.
Nice.
And so.
It's exciting. That's travel. It gets you out of the city for a little bit.
Absolutely. Is that something that you...
Gets rid of the kinfolk.
Right?
Go to my peeps
The
in
heart of
Nebraska.
America.
That is the heartland. That is the heartland. All right, so we got our herbs all kind of mashed into the cheese here. That's what we're doing. Depending on how many people you're having over, if you want to do this for a cocktail party, if you're just doing it for a snack, can really depend on like what tomato you want to use. If you just want to do like little things, use Roma tomatoes. If you just want a nice afternoon snack, go for one of those. Nice big beef steak, and this will go together quick. You'll see it's like a 5-minute snack. It's healthy, it's delicious. pour a little Pinot Grigio, sit out on the balcony, watch the ocean or traffic, depending on where you're located.
Or watch the West Hollywood people go by.
I was like, you have a balcony?
Which can be just as entertaining as the ocean.
I think so.
So a lot of people kind of use different knives for tomatoes and things like this. I like to use a serrated knife because it's got the nice little edges. It just seems to cut the tomato a little bit better. It cuts through the flesh a little bit better. So depending on how thick you want your layers, I go about 1/4 inch. Just do some nice slices here.
So just red and pretty.
Yeah, you know, again, with the fresh, hit up your farmers markets and everything else as much as you can, because I mean that's where all the good stuff is, really. You know, especially with all the modified this, that, and the others that are hitting stores. I mean, as fresh and as close to the farm as you can get it, the better off you're going to be. You know, if you have the land, hey, start your own farm. I would. I just don't think they'd appreciate an herb garden on the balcony. Like,
I can
what's
maybe
going
grow
on?
an oregano plant.
It's oregano,
Not that kind.
right?
Not that kind.
So once you got your tomato slices here, we're going to take our cheese, and this is where, you know, when Mom was like, don't play with your food, stop it. I'm a grown-up. I'm going to play with my food. I'm allowed to play with my food now if I want to, so that's what I'm going to do. This is where we get a little messy, and we're going to just kind of get the cheese here.
Messy.
You know, messy works sometimes. And what we're going to do is just kind of press this onto our tomato bottoms here. Going to want to make sure you save some of this because we're going to need some for the plate. And this is fun too, especially for parties, because people see this come out and they're just like, whoa, how did you do that? And that's generally immediately followed by, how do I eat that?
Oh, it's like a little sandwich.
Awesome. So that's when we get to teach, right?
Absolutely. Yes, you're going to teach exactly how to eat this. So you just kind of keep pressing the cheese in and building up your layers. And everything that we're doing on this show is 100% wheat-free and gluten-free. You know, we're kind of reaching out to you, the people that have celiac disease, gluten intolerance, are leading a gluten-free lifestyle for health or lifestyle reasons. You know, you just kind of want to eliminate some junk from your diet and just feel a little bit better and a little healthier.
You know what? I hate to be like this since I live in Hollywood. I should know this, but gluten-free means what?
Gluten-free means gluten is a protein that's found in a lot of the cereal grains, most commonly wheat, barley, and rye. And it's a protein that kind of like gives dough that not, I don't want to say the rise, that's the yeast, but the fluffiness, the elasticity. And that protein, for people that have celiac disease or gluten intolerance, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, what it does is it damages a part of the small intestines that's responsible for absorbing the nutrients in the food that you're eating. So essentially what that does is, if it goes untreated, the people start to malnourish and just drop in weight, get really sick. My dad got down to a point where he was walking with a cane. He couldn't climb the stairs, and he didn't know what was wrong after going to the doctor several times. And
What do they know?
What's that?
What do they know?
Right, you know, they just want to poke you, prod you, put you under the knife, give you pills, and, you know, send you on your way. So finally, he was diagnosed with celiac disease.
I want to be poked and prodded.
That's either a good doctor or a Friday night, you know?
Exactly.
Either one.
Sometimes it can be both.
It can. I don't go in those circles.
You just have to hang out in West Hollywood more.
Wow. So, you know, after they found it, and he was doing things like eating oatmeal and stuff to kind of bulk up, you know, and it was actually doing more damage than good.
Man.
Wow, looks like, Andy, you're going to get an extra layer here.
It's all right. This is like the Big Mac of vegetarians.
It is.
That is huge.
It is. And don't worry, you got those knives. And like I said, this is what makes people just go, whoa, what's going on there? Let me get this cheese off my hands.
So you can't eat any wheat? Like, no, like I was somebody was like, you see a lot on set, like gluten-free for dummies, and people will say stuff, and they were like, well, you can't eat pasta. And I was like, I'm Italian.
Right.
Italians eat pasta like French people want to slap you. Like, that is just what we do. Like, I couldn't even, so it was like, oh my, like, so I find it so
Do you
fascinating.
feel bad for them?
I do. They don't know what, but you know, a lot of people, that's the way that it is now anyway. Even diets, like the paleo, or it's just
Right.
nuts and berries, or vegetarian. There's a lot of diets where now it's like no pasta, and you're like, are you kidding me? Like, I have to have pasta. Like, at least that's what I had every night growing up. It was like, what do you want to eat? Pasta? Because that's what you're going to feed me.
Right, that's what it's going to be.
'Cause
So we got a little balsamic glaze here. This stuff is delicious. I recommend you just pick some of this up. It's great on everything
Oh,
from...
that's awesome. And you can make it look pretty just like that.
Yeah, you know, and it wasn't hard because a lot of people are like, hey, I can't make stuff that fancy. And you're like, I didn't realize I just did the thing. Back and forth, and you're good.
Look how fun that is.
So
Guys
I
should
used
be
a little bit
taking
of
notes.
a little bit of the cheese there as kind of glue to stick that to the
Very smart.
plate so it doesn't slide when you're passing that out to a bunch of people. And just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil because, we're going that route. We're going Mediterranean. And we're going to hit it with our little fresh herbs.
That is just pretty.
So that's kind of why we're doing pasta today too, is because, for example, I can't eat pasta, I'm going to die. We're going to show you how to do that live. So here is our caprese salad. It eats very easily with a fork and knife. There's the little one. No offense, people.
Oh, it's fine.
So you guys can dig into that.
Sweet. Every guy should be watching this show right now, because this is so easy and it's definitely impressive. You just bring a girl over, like, oh, here you go.
Really?
Absolutely.
I would be impressed.
I've heard
Right?
that
I would be
food-
like,
It's quick.
is this going to be, do I owe more than, what's going to happen after?
Yeah,
but
I'm
wait,
suspicious
you
right
always,
away.
as a lady, you should always wait for the main course.
we
You don't
haven't,
give it up on the appetizer.
and if dessert's involved, well,
Wow.
we're gonna expect a
Wow.
ring.
Exactly.
Then I would probably really pass out from sheer terror. So do we eat now?
Yeah,
or
you guys
do we
can
eat?
go ahead
Oh, we
and
eat while you do your thing? Okay.
yeah, go ahead and dig into
Awesome.
that.
All right.
People can hear you ooh and ah while I'm getting
Okay.
ready for the next phase of this adventure.
I love goat cheese, by the way. And I've never heard of goat cheese on caprese.
Yeah, I like to break rules, like I was saying. It's just a light thing.
Oh my god. Oh, this is so good.
Wow.
See, I'm going to become French now, and I'll slap you. It's so good.
That's right.
Oh my
You know,
God.
and never mind, I'm not gonna. So what we're gonna do now, while they're enjoying that caprese salad, we're gonna start getting the vegetables ready for the spring vegetable filling for the ravioli, and we're just trying to keep it light. We're going to be using a few different things. We've got turnips, zucchini, green onions. This is acorn squash, and then portobello mushrooms for the spring veg. And you can really use any vegetables you want, whatever your favorite is. If you don't like red peppers, don't use red peppers. You're not gonna offend me. I won't be upset with that if you leave out an ingredient. So with the portobellos, I like to take the stem off. If I'm grilling them, I'll leave these on, the gills.
Mhm.
If I'm sautéing them, I'll scrape them out.
Does it add a flavor, or is there a reason why you choose one?
It'll give it a little bit more earthiness, but it'll also hold a lot of like the olive oil and stuff when you're cooking. So if you don't want it to get too mushy,
Uh-huh.
I take it out so you're pretty much just left with the flesh. So we're gonna
Right.
remove these real quick.
So
How are those tomatoes, guys?
Awesome.
Amazing. Oh my
You're right, though,
gosh.
about like.
I'm
the-
afraid now I have to sleep with you. This is so
Sound like a cheap date over here. I was just saying, I'd be surprised if some guy was like, "This is what he did for me." I'm like, "Really?"
You wouldn't be impressed.
I would. That's what I'm saying. Usually, the guys I date don't do that. The guys I date
see?
are like, "What?"
You know what? All right, guys out there that are watching, learn to cook. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it'll help, which is why I'm
I agree.
still.
A woman's to a woman's heart. is-
We'll just
See,
trail up.
I wasn't gonna bring that up for you, man.
Yeah, thank you for that. I've been in a happy nope, nothing. Got it. So we're gonna dice up our portobellos here and get these all ready.
Nice.
Oh, these. I
care
wish you
about the
could. I wish
chop?
you could smell these over here, because it's just mushroom.
I always love the art of any food show when they're just cutting. It just seems so.
Well, we got these, and I could do a shameless plug right now. Foodstart sent us these.
Gustav?
Yeah, they sent us these knives, and they're absolutely beautiful.
He sounds like a villain on Die Hard.
Right, and it just goes back to the people that are out there supporting us and how much we appreciate that.
Oh, nice.
We make this free so everyone in the world, wherever they have an internet connection, can join us and learn how to do some great gluten-free food. But again, we are kind of relying on the continued support and stuff. So
Yeah.
that is all fun and good. We're going to get our pan going here. With the olive oil with this, sometimes it says 2 tablespoons, sometimes it says 4. I just really kind of do 2 little rounds around the pan, 2 little pours around the pan.
You're not worried about the mushroom soaking it up too much?
No,
Nice.
and we're going to start with, because we've got different vegetables with different textures and flesh and firmness, I'm going to start with the turnips and the zucchini. So we're going to take these turnips and the zucchini, and these are going to go right into the saute pan, that you want to have warming up ahead of time. Give it a little bit of heat.
You're being so polite. I can't. I'm just attacking it. I don't know how you're doing it so.
Yeah, and that's it's kind of fun because it's like food Jenga.
Yeah,
almost.
it is. It is.
You
You'll
can
be
eat-
impressed how long you can keep it as a stack
There you
before
go.
it just topples.
Before it falls off.
Food Jenga.
So the other thing we're going to do is once we get these vegetables sauteing and everything, we're doing the homemade pasta. I'm going to kind of go a little geographical here. If you're in Michigan, get a hold, and you're near the Detroit, Troy, Rochester area, get a hold of Celiac Specialties because they have a gluten-free flour blend that works amazing for doing homemade pasta. I have had to add nothing extra to it. Now, because like we were saying earlier, these flours don't have the gluten in them that a regular wheat flour does. We have to do things to it to give it that elasticity, so it'll go through the machine, which is where the thing was last night. Like, go through.
Right.
We want you to roll out. So we'll add in like a little bit of xanthan gum to it, and xanthan gum, which would be this ingredient here on the food cam. Xanthan gum is it's taken from the outer layer of a bacterium with a big scientific name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce.
That's
Kind of
all right.
like yeast, but it does its thing. It gives it that connectivity or that elasticity to what we're making.
Okay. Now, so then you can also, there is pasta out there that's gluten free, right? Or is it? But it's more fun. I mean, obviously, I would be afraid to make my own pasta, but I'm fascinated to see how.
You'd be
You
afraid to
should be
make
able to
it?
do this
My
in your
grandmother
sleep.
did, but she probably, she just made me feel like you can't do this.
It wasn't passed on from.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't. But I mean, we made homemade sauce and everything. But for some reason, I would be intimidated by the homemade pasta. So
All right. It's
All right.
fun though. We have a
That's
we do
right.
have a question
Sure, absolutely.
from Wendy Wilson.
Excellent.
It said, can you use something to saute the vegetables besides olive oil?
Olive oil is gonna be your best. You can use grapeseed oil. That's nice too. I would probably stick with those two just because of the saturated fats and stuff.
Right.
Those are gonna be your best.
How would the grape oil change your flavors there?
It's subtle, actually. From the ones I've used, the grapeseed oil is very subtle. So feel free to use those. Even when I cook with olive oil, I use pomace olive oil instead of an extra virgin. I'll use extra virgin for plates like this, salad dressings, and things along those lines. But for cooking, pomace, because it isn't as refined, so there's more impurities in it. So it's going to stand up to the high heat better and not break down as fast.
Nice.
So it'll give you a higher cooking temperature and a longer cooking time.
But you would never go butter.
Oh, we go butter.
Yeah.
There will be many
It's
dishes,
Italian.
many dishes where we go butter. Hey, I even have a couple dishes where if we're using bacon in the recipe, we're going to save that bacon fat and we're
Right.
going to finish the dish with that bacon fat because
Right.
it's, I mean, come on.
Because it's bacon.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're talking.
So once we get those rendered down, the turnips and the zucchini, we're going to go to our acorn squash. I scooped that so it's a little bit thinner. It'll kind of reduce the cooking time on there. And our portobello's going in.
Now, how do you know when your vegetables are done? I mean, how do you know when they're like brown on the outside? How do you know?
I squeeze them.
No.
I'll just get a chunk and do a little.
Oh, okay, and then
Yeah, just
then
pinch
what?
it.
When water comes out, what? You
Just for the tenderness.
Okay.
If you feel it, I like veggies al dente, so there's still a little bit of a resistance when you bite it, so they're not just.
Yeah.
They still got some life to them.
Okay.
A little crisp.
And we can't make these
Well,
not
I know
saute
you
veggies.
you can cook the vitamins out if you cook them too long. I hear it anyway.
Yeah,
Is
and
true?
that's really true with like anything. Meat, veggies, anything. The longer you cook it, the more you kill it. That's kind of my philosophy. So like whenever I'm doing a steak, I think I said this to our guest last week. Whenever I'm doing a steak, I like to just kind of walk it through the kitchen.
Right.
And if like normal people were eating it, this is where you would go. But I'm eating you, so we're just going to go right to the plate.
Right.
As long as you're warm. I like
When
it
my
very,
dad
very
orders a
rare and
steak,
still
he always says to the waitress, he's always like, just take the cow out, walk it around, kill it, and bring it back. That's it. That's all he wants. And
anything
they always
beyond
look at
that.
him, yeah, they always look at him very scared.
So I think with these veggies, we're going to do about, let's do 5 cloves of garlic. We're all friends. So we're just going to get a nice little shave on these. Hopefully not my finger.
I was just gonna say I would totally cut my finger. I just see it right now, blood.
Well, the good news about a good knife, and if you're keeping it nice and sharp, you won't even know.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
you won't even feel it.
That's good.
Just be like, why is it red? No.
Like, hey, this garlic is red. Hold on, we'll be right back
You
after
know what?
these
We're
messages.
gonna take a break.
If you see color bars go up, that means something has happened. Either I've cut myself or someone's fallen off a stool.
And so, okay, now I have a question. I just moved to this apartment, so I have nothing. Like, I have to start over for, like, my kitchen. What are the 2 knives that you need in a kitchen and be done with it? Like, the 2 top knives. Like,
2 top
you would
knives.
say every cook.
A paring knife, one of these little dudes,
All right.
and your chef's knife without the garlic on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, those are the 2. Okay.
those would be the 2 that I would start with. Then, if you can, if you're gonna add stuff, you can just go to your serrated next. Because the good thing about a serrated knife and the edges on there, the serration on there, this is good for bread. This is good for slicing turkey or chicken. You do the big roast. The tomatoes, like you saw, I like it for a lot of different things.
No, the garlic you're choosing to slice it instead of use one of those mashers. What's the difference with those?
Not a whole lot, really. Not a whole lot, really.
No?
No, I like slicing it like this. So when you get some, you get that nice little bite of garlic, and once you cook it, it's sweet. It's not like garlic. It's just a nice, simple thing. If you ever do like a roasted garlic bulb and then you spread it on a cracker, it's just like ultimate deliciousness.
Nice.
Yeah. So last thing we're going to put in the pot, food cam, if you want to follow me over here, we're going to throw this garlic in. Do not rub your hand off with the edge of the knife. Really important safety tip there.
I know, we have some safety issues here.
And we're just going to get those sauteing.
This is so good. I love the goat cheese. I've never had caprese style with goat cheese, ever, no matter where I've gone, even when I went to Italy. So this is a new flavor, and it's awesome, actually.
It's just different,
It's
it
awesome.
livens it up a little bit.
It does.
Absolutely.
And, depending on whether you have a buffalo milk or a cow's milk mozzarella, that really kind of affects the flavor there too. I get a little more flavor from the buffalo mozzarella. I just like it.
Yeah, me too.
Have you had the burrata recently?
The what?
Burrata?
Burrata. It's
Oh, the brand. It's
No, it's like mozzarella, but then you cut it open and the cheese comes out. It's like soft in the middle.
Where do you get
It
it?
just-
Stop and get it.
or not.
There's
get
some
it.
at any of your higher end supermarkets will have it.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It took me a little bit of getting used to. Yeah,
That's not a no
it was different. So we want to make sure we're always seasoning as we're cooking. So So we're going to add a little bit of salt to that. And some pepper. There's something, I like the tri-color peppercorn mix because, well, I guess more is always kind of better when it comes to flavor. So these are starting to get where we want them to be. Excellent. I'm going to get set up here for our pasta.
Now I do have a quick question about olive oil. What's the differences between like, you always say the EVOOI or whatever, or just extra virgin to virgin to?
It's the number of pressings that they go through,
Okay.
and the refinement. Yeah, like extra virgin's obviously your best, and then you go to the pomace, the high pomace. Those are your lower quality.
Oh, okay.
And look at the color too. The greener it is, the less pure it's going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice to
So
know.
you get a nice light olive oil, deliciousness.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Olive oil. I use olive oil on everything. Everything.
Well, it's good for you. You can do a tablespoon in the morning just straight up, and it'll help with skin and digestion and all
A
kinds of
shot
stuff.
of olive oil?
Almost like a
For
like
skin?
a fish oil almost.
Yeah.
Nice. Looking at this,
Really?
I thought this cooking would be so different, and it's really like we haven't done much anything that I wouldn't do, and I'm not gluten free or wheat free.
But we're getting into
We're
the
getting there.
pasta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're using different things too. We work with quinoa a lot. Some of the other wild rices. So now we're going to get into.
I sounded like a hick when I went out. I was like, can I have some quinoa? They're like, what's that? Quinoa. They're like, you mean quinoa? No, I mean quinoa. It's a different thing. I gotta go. You know what? Whole
If you don't know
Foods.
what it is, I don't trust you.
No, I
Wow.
didn't know how to say it. I say everything wrong. It doesn't matter. You say tomato, I'll be a tomato. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It'll be always wrong.
My mom's from Philadelphia, and we get potato and pilla.
And
There's no O's. They're apparently
Potato.
out of O's.
I like that.
So we're going to start on our pasta. This is a gluten-free flour, all-purpose. It's a mixture of potato flour, rice flour, garbanzo bean flour. So just a lot of different things in there. Some of them will have a flaxseed flour. There's a rice flour that we use sometimes. So there's a lot of different things out there. You just have to know how to doctor them and put them together so they're going to work for you. So this is about 3/4 of a cup going in here. This is the xanthan gum that we were talking about. It's just this little kind of, looks like cake flour a little bit. This is the xanthan gum. That's about a teaspoon, a little over a teaspoon. That's going to go in there, and that's what's going to kind of give us our elasticity. And then a pinch of salt, so we're seasoning that because we're always seasoning. Get that out of the way. I have to duck into the refrigerator for our eggs. So talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Well, you know what's weird is like this is where I feel like cooking where I get like it's such chemistry, like you know what I mean, like to do the right. Isn't
This
it
is where
kind
you
of
get
like where you
scared.
have to do something? If you do something too much, then it's gooey, or if it's isn't that the case as far as the pasta or
Pastas, especially like
or even cream sauces, like
Yeah, cream sauces are fun. They can go to, what word am I allowed to use? They can go to hell pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you're not doing them right. So I'm just gonna get a little whisk on the flour here to, kind of mix up that xanthan gum and salt. Sorry, the brain's just starting to wake up.
I was like, what is it, 11? We need to crack open some wine.
Right? We have
If
some
I
too.
was really in Italy, we would be drinking and then we'd be eating the.
Right? Isn't it
Very
so
true.
different?
It
I
is.
haven't made it there yet. That's my dream, is to do a trip to Italy. The downside is I'm not sure if I'd come home. I might just stay there if I go.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I've heard great things about the place.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's...
Well,
where
I
I'd
was
love
saying to people, like, they'll be like, I'm on this diet, that diet. I'm like, yeah, that sounds the joyless diet. Like, I'm from an Italian family that it was, like, nothing but pastas and wine, and everybody's, yelling at you, hitting you with spoons. But besides that, besides that abuse.
It was
When I looked at the
awesome.
spoons, I was like, that's not a tool. That's what it would be.
That's discipline.
Yeah, so,
Um,
like, Italian discipline, right? Cook with it, and we'll beat you with it. Yeah.
So when you're doing your flour...
Okay.
Okay? And now the technique, after we've got all of our ingredients in here, now the technique of making the pasta is going to be very similar to if you were working with regular flour and stuff. So you get your little well, you take your egg, and just crack it right into the center there. Pay no attention to the sink. And 2. So we're going 2 eggs to 3/4 cup of the gluten-free flour. And then just like when you're making scrambled eggs, you're just going to start mixing this, mixing your egg yolks. And as you're doing this, very just kind of subtly and slowly pull in the flour. You see it start getting in there and fluffing it up a little bit.
It's falling asleep. So you just kind of keep doing that, and you just let you just kind of,
Yep.
which is what I noticed, like when you do watch and they do it from the middle, they keep it right in the middle and they let everything fall from the.
Yep, let everything fall in.
Okay.
That way you're avoiding
Kinda-
having big dry clumps in the center.
Kind of hitting it with the fork as you come in and just grabbing a little bit. So you just kind of, pull a little bit in and keep doing that.
Is that the term for folding it in? Or is that totally different?
It's,
and totally wrong?
this is a little bit different. But you know what? Hey, you're using cooking terms, so that's
Yeah,
good.
hey, I can lie with the best of them. Okay, we have a question from Autumn.
Yes.
Can you just buy the xanthan gum at a supermarket?
You can, actually. We got this at a local supermarket. About a package this big, and it's going to run you, depending on the store, between $10 and $13. So it's not cheap, but the good news is that packet is going to last you 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
It feels like. It really depends on how. Sorry, I'm just saying. Because
If you're definitely cooking every
It's
day
like a
like
good
this, it's not going to be.
relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
if you were doing this every day, yes. But
That's an eternity in Hollywood.
right?
3 to 5?
Who has
That's
3 to
doing full
5 year
time.
relationships in
Good,
this
yeah.
town? So then, as it starts to come into a little bowl or a
Use your
ball,
hands.
and you can't really do anything else with the fork, then you're just going to kind of dump it out here onto the cutting board. A
Oh,
little bit of
sweet.
flour. And then this is where the exercise for the morning comes in. And then you're just going to kind of keep kneading this and incorporating
I
everything.
love getting my hands dirty when I cook.
Right? It's
If
kind of
I'm
fun.
not
Best way to do
messy
it.
and there's flour everywhere, then
Right.
I feel like I didn't cook like yeah.
If it doesn't look like a war zone of
Yeah, if
food
I didn't just
after
throw
you're
salt
done.
everywhere and picture this, I'm like, what the heck? It's like, it has to be like a hurricane went through my kitchen.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
I feel like I really cooked.
You can even ask some of my former prep cooks about that. They'll walk into the kitchen sometimes and be like, well, chef was cooking today.
Yeah.
Because the whole back area is just,
That's right.
disaster.
Even if I'm cooking an egg, I want it to look like there's been a lot of stuff going on.
Right? So as you can see, we're getting a nice little ball of dough formed here. You kind of want it to be squishy and slightly moist, but you don't want it to like stick.
Right.
So if you can feel that it's moist, but it's not like sticking to your skin, and you get a nice little dent in there, then you're doing good things. Things are good.
It's like a squishy ball. Just squish it.
It is. You know what? Kneading dough is a great stress reliever. Like if you're like, I'm just dough, and you just go and you make it, and it's awesome.
You just make that.
Very hypnotic when I'm watching it right now.
So people can tell in your fridge
You're
how
getting
mad you
very
were
hungry.
that week because you have like 17 balls of dough.
The pizza party?
Taxes were due.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want to talk about that.
we love
Somebody
those.
said it's tax day. I go, it is? And they go, that doesn't sound good if you don't know it's tax day. I'm like, well, I gotta go.
It's not that it's not good. It just means you didn't have to worry about it.
I get the you get the little pop-ups from the software companies, and you're just like, well, okay, I guess I'll file that.
I guess I'll do
Yeah.
it. Whatever.
You gotta try it.
I
Right?
guess I won't go to jail.
You guys doing okay over there?
It's very good.
Really
It's
good.
very, very good.
Awesome. This is feeling really good. I'm happy with this one. Like I said, anytime as we were getting ready for the episode, we're using a different brand of flour. So there's definitely some trial and error to get it to where you want it. But, we've tried this one. So if you use the recipe that's on the website in a PDF and download that for the episode 2 recipes, if you follow that one, you'll be fine. And that's the 3/4 cup flour, 2 eggs, pinch of salt, and a teaspoon of the xanthan gum. And you're good to go. So we are going to let...
I think I like just saying that. I'm going to go get some xanthan gum.
Isn't it fun?
It's fun to say. I'm going to get xanthan gum. Do you have any xanthan gum? No? All right.
It sounds
You
like
sound
something that might...
intelligent.
You do.
Right. Might
Anytime
be
you can
something
use
that
a
hurts
multi-syllable
Superman.
word.
I've got to get it.
So we're going to take this guy. Here's our little dough ball. And at home, when you're looking at this on the food cam, your dough, if you push on it and you see it kind of start to spring back a little bit, that is your dough. It's exactly what you want it to do. It's happy. We're happy. It means it's going to be happy pasta.
Good. We like happy pasta.
We do like happy
Better
pasta.
than anti-happy pasta.
So we're going to set that back there and let that guy rest. And I'm going to take this little guy, because he's been resting all morning. After I made it, I wrapped him with a little bit of, I put some olive oil on it.
Oh, nice.
And wrapped it to keep it from, getting a crust on it
Right.
or drying out. So I should probably do that.
And then does it have to rise or do anything like? I mean.
Oh, well, that's why I did it this morning.
So how long
it
do you keep
time.
it? How long do you keep it?
You could
Rise?
actually make it the night before, and then before you're going to use it, just bring it out to room temperature.
But say you're me and you're running home after work and trying to make it. How long would you normally let it rest if you just were like, I want to make it now?
15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You got 15 minutes there, Andy? You
I
busy
don't know,
guy?
man. I'm busy. I'm busy.
He might have a few 15 minutes.
Been working
I'm
on.
not saying you're
I've been
not.
working on that
Well, you have a
solid
kid.
15.
You have a child.
Yeah.
How are things going with Cosmo Comedy?
Fantastic. And it's trial and error.
As many things
anytime,
are.
Yeah. Anytime you're building something, it's always fascinating to be like, yeah, great. We've got all these great shows going on, and things are happening, and everybody gets excited, and then things stop, and everybody goes, "What's going on?" And you're like, "Oh,
Right.
well, we're building again." So it's been fascinating though.
So what I've done is I've taken their little ball of dough, flattened that out. We've got our pasta machine set up here. If you're lucky enough to have one of these things are great. I love these. If not, don't make ravioli. Just go. 'Cause you won't be able to roll it out thin enough by hand.
Yeah.
In a rolling pin, it's just not gonna. You're gonna go crazy. The other thing that we're going to do is, as we roll this through, we are going to, when you're doing a normal pasta, and I'll show you here as this comes out, you're going to see a little bit difference in textures between a regular pasta and this pasta. This is going to have some little pockets in it. That's fine. It's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be worried about that.
Don't be afraid.
A lot of times with the regular pasta, you're going to do this little fold thing that I just did, where you kind of fold it in and then you're going to pass it through again.
Uh-huh.
It's finicky, and sometimes it'll be great, and sometimes you're going to just want to throw the pasta machine and the noodle against the wall. So after you get a pass, we took our pasta machine here, food cam, if you can see this, you have your notches here. So we started on the biggest one, and now we just moved it down a notch.
Right.
And now we're going to pass this through yet again. You want to go slow. You don't want to go too fast, because that will rip the pasta.
But you can buy, can't you buy, just say you don't have just this part, but you want to make your own homemade ravioli and put all your mixture in there. You can buy it flat already?
With a regular pasta, yes. There is no pre-made gluten-free pasta dough out there at all. You can
sounds
buy...
like a business idea.
Right. Slow down.
Where's Shark Tank? Let's do this.
Right? You can get the noodles, like you can buy lasagna noodles, you can buy shells, you can buy spaghetti. There are companies out there that have those pastas. Ancient Harvest makes a great quinoa pasta, which we have and we use a lot of. And it's great. It's got a really... The flavor profile of it isn't really that much different than a regular pasta. There's also brown rice pastas out there, and there's even some made with the garbanzo bean flour and some of the other flours that I was talking about. Food cam, I don't know if you can get in here, maybe even from the side. You can kind of see how we're letting this feed through, kind of catching it very
Seems to be
slowly.
sticking together. Is that the gluten?
Yeah, well, that's the xanthan gum holding that together. And
You're not throwing more flour on the pins as you
I
spin.
did right before we started.
Right, but I mean as you go.
You really kind of want to watch your pasta. Like if
Uh-huh.
you see it starting to rip a little bit like that,
Uh-huh.
you can. This here, food cam, if you can get in on that, that is a good thickness for ravioli right there. So we went down about 5. We went down about 5 notches on that. So we got that. We're gonna run this next one through real quick. So the thing with the gluten-free diet too, and one of the reasons why we don't have a ticket price or anything for this is because some of the products out there are like super expensive. Like any of us can go to the grocery store and grab a loaf of bread for 99 cents.
Right.
A decent product or a decent gluten-free bread is going to cost them upwards of $6-7 a loaf.
Oh my God.
A bag of pretzels is $7 to $8. Like it's just so with that in mind, that's kind of the reason too why we're like, you know what, we're just going to do this.
It seems like
Yeah.
it's more economical to make your own if it's like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in some cases it really is. The pastas aren't too bad. The pastas end up somewhere between $4 and $6 a box. And if you're busy and you love pasta as much as a lot of us do, the pre-made pastas are fine. This is, you're having a fancy dinner, you're having some friends over, you want to make something nice. This could actually be kind of a fun date night thing. Maybe not a first date. She's like, hey, you're gonna help me make dinner.
Yeah, this is the way it's going to be forever. No.
Kind of like going Dutch or something. But this is fun, if people have been hanging out and dating for a little while. Kind of a fun thing for them to do together. One person's like grabbing the pasta, one person's turning the roller.
Again, I'm not sure who you're dating. I gotta be like, turn the sports off. Help me. Help me.
I think
Help
you're dating
me
the
help
wrong
you.
kind of guys.
I know I'm all like jealous. Really? Is this what happens out there? People do pasta together and they hold hands and
They sing Disney songs.
Bingo.
You go for
there's
walks.
no sports and ignoring me involved?
Walks on the beach with like birds landing on your shoulder.
Sounds like heaven. And
Yeah.
you sing.
In reality, it's not the bird, it's just what they have after they eat the bird seed that lands on your shoulder.
You know what?
Welcome.
That's every woman's romantic
Like,
fantasy anyway.
Welcome to my Saturday afternoon. So this, I think, we'll get one more pass out of this guy. Just going to fix
Actually,
him right there.
I think out of all the homemade pastas, I think the homemade ravioli to me is like the best. Like when you make, that's the best way because you're putting in your own mixture, like a mushroom mixture.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think, everything else you can make fettuccine, whatever, but this is like,
These are
you
like
can do it
making
yourself.
Pasta fortune cookies right here. You can
Yeah.
do
They,
anything.
yeah, they kind of
Is
are.
there sweet ravioli? Can you make like a cinnamon, is there like a dessert ravioli? There has
Yes,
to be, right?
I've actually done a chocolate and ricotta
Oh,
ravioli.
is it
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
the
I
next
did
show.
that. That's
totally
one of my
sinful and totally good.
Valentine's Day
Is it?
treats. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then you can just do like a Myers dark rum sauce with it, and it's just like some fresh cherries on there, and you just cherry and
You
chocolate.
just eat it as you cry, like, why am I
Dang,
still
no.
alone?
No, why
And
am
you
I
feed
still?
it to each other. It's just like the saddest group of
So
people.
once we got our noodles, we're gonna make sure our water is boiling. Also, food cam, very very important when you're doing pasta. Your water. Do you know the rule for pasta water? Come on.
Boil it?
Salt it.
Thank you. From the.
Oh, I was gonna say
we got
put some
the-
oil in it. What?
Wow, my Italian heritage is just like letting me down. What are you doing? No, it's make it taste like the ocean. Salt it, taste like the
okay.
ocean. Don't do oil because you'll catch your apartment on fire.
No, oil
If
inside
it
the
boils over.
oil inside the water. You don't put just a little bit. No. Oh,
It doesn't do
I thought
anything.
you had to.
No, because when you look at it, then you'll just see this little pool of oil right in the center of the
Oh,
pot as it's
interesting.
boiling.
Wow.
So salt for flavor is
Okay.
pretty much what you want to do.
I gotta say, I feel better now because when I got here, you guys were like, "Hey, we're Italian, yeah, we're making kneecaps." I was like, "I am out of place."
F word, F word, F word.
I was
We
like,
do
you
that.
said, I'll stab you. How about
Yeah,
that? I'll go back
stab
to
you.
my
I will stab you.
correcting me.
So after we got our vegetables done, our noodles are made, we're ready to kind of put these together. We're going to take our sauteed vegetables. We're going to go right into the food processor with them. Apparently, I am waking up. So these are going to go right in here, like that. You'll have a tendency to get rid of your pan. Guys,
Yes, sir.
save your pan.
Okay.
Save it.
Yep.
You got it. Save it, pan.
You're going to want to get rid of it, but I'm telling you, save your pan. We're going to pulse these
I know.
until these are on a
Same thing. I
fine,
was like, okay.
a really fine chop. Kind of almost a mince, because you want these to be your ravioli filling. And you don't want to have a whole lot of air and stuff in your noodles. So this is what you're looking for on your chop. And we're going to take that right over here. And this will
Alright,
be
so
the
you don't
one
want it too
moment of the
mashed.
magic of television.
Okay.
So we've got our chopped vegetables.
Nice.
And we're going to take our little scooper, little melon baller. That's all we're using. Just one little melon baller. We're going to put a little scoop there. See how
Now-
many we're going to get out of this one noodle.
If you don't have a food processor, can you just use something like a meat tenderizer to do that? Or?
If sure. Yeah,
You can
that'll.
use a
that'll
hammer
do
if
it,
you
yeah.
want.
Get a little Gallagher on it. Nothing wrong with it.
The hammer, the motivation tool, as I like to call it. There's two discipline tools. There's the hammer and then the rolling pin. If you're from an Italian family or Catholic school,
Yeah.
We're there. I still flinch from rulers, but that's okay.
Well, because they were always cooking. They had to it's like they had to work with time. So it was like beating you and cooking. So a lot of wooden spoons, and things like that. They didn't have time. They were always in the kitchen. That's what my
So
family was.
one other thing I'm going to do here is grab one more egg. We are going to get these into the water for you.
And then you paste it.
We are going to have to paste it. Yes.
How exciting!
Wait.
So, one egg in a bowl for your egg wash, like so. Do a little MacGyver thing here to get to another
Utensil.
utensil that's under the. There we go, under the pasta machine. So whisk this together. Whisk, fork, stir,
With
Beat.
beat,
Beat it together.
puree, chopped.
puree. All right, so we got our little pastry brush here. We're going to take this. We're just going to kind of brush in between these, like so. Dripping egg all over the place. That's okay.
That's what Rocky would do.
That is what Rocky would do. Actually, Rocky would just do this as a shot.
I know. It'd be
Okay, so we got that all brushed. Now, we're going to take this. We're going to flip this right over on top,
Nice.
like so. We're going to press that down in between the things, like so. And don't worry if you have a little hole. Great thing about pasta, just pinch it back together. That's why we love dough. Just pinch it back together. I have parts of me that wish to just pinch back. Anyways, those like little random thoughts you get, like, man, I would just love to. Okay, why can't I be dough?
That's called a nip and tuck.
An interesting show.
Interesting show. It is.
So now, to cut your raviolis, you can go out and get one of those big fancy like pasta cutters or little rings that you would use for biscuits. So if you have those are great. If not, I believe anything in the kitchen should be multi-purpose, multi-use. We don't want tools that do one thing. So I'm just going to kind of take the lid off of our peppercorns here.
Nice.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Heck
smart.
yeah.
Just this little thing. You only need something about that big. And we're just going to MacGyver this here. And we're going to cut out these little round raviolis. These are going to be fun. Make sure you leave enough room between them so you're not overlapping like I am. But you know what? It's going to taste the same.
We got a
That's a-
question, Drew.
Go for it.
This question's from Sparkwired. Can
Okay.
you use something besides an egg wash to hold the ravioli together?
You can. Yeah, absolutely. You use just straight water. That'll hold it. Because you've got the xanthan gum and the stuff in the dough, it'll hold together just fine. So I'm just going to peel away our excess dough here. I'm going to pinch that guy shut. And then these are going to go right into the water.
Now, how important is that? Because obviously it'll leak out in the water, right? So you have to make sure it's really sealed tight.
You're going to want to make sure
You
you
have
like.
a little messy water.
And that's a sin in Italy, right? Messy pasta water.
I've never been there, so I can plead ignorance.
I base all Italy on my upbringing in my home, which it probably is not even.
I'm sure it's probably close.
They're just
accurate.
very loud and obnoxious. If that's Italy, then that's my family.
Well, we've got my family's Irish and Italian, so.
Oh my God!
So you're mad at yourself.
Right, if you want to
Everybody
yes.
is drunk and screaming.
So what I'm doing here is just kind of
That's a
going
great
around the
combination.
edges and making sure everything's all pinched together. Don't worry, friends, family. If we go a little bit over an hour, that's fine. Stay with us. We're gonna keep shooting, and we're gonna make sure you see the end of this dish because it is fantastic and delicious. So I know we slated you guys till noon, but we'll get out of here.
It's all good.
It's
Where do
all- it
people
is all
have to
good.
go? Nowhere.
Right, it's Saturday
Nowhere.
afternoon. Maybe you got a hockey game or something. Hockey this year. I don't even know what's going on with that.
Kings made it.
Shh.
Just saying.
Which is just weird. I was starting to
weird
think
that
that
the
last
Kings
year.
made it?
Yeah, I was thinking last year was a fluke. It was just upside down last year. Being from Detroit and being that fan.
Right.
And
And then you guys live in ice, and we still beat you.
I know it's weird. Well, actually, San Jose did. So let's not give LA any.
Well, I'm just what I meant by that is we won.
So we're gonna come over here. You did. You kind of the whole thing, right? So just kind of drop these one at a time in. And those are in the water, boiling away. So now we're gonna put a little more olive oil in our pan. We're gonna get that heating up, and then this is where we're gonna do the sauce. And when I was telling you before, like you want to.
This is like the most important part to me.
This is it. The sauce here is the fun, amazing part. So we are going to take our garlic. There we go. Always have one of these. These are great,
Okay.
especially if you're in an older building. So we're going to get our garlic here. Only 2 cloves for the sauce because we've got it in the veggies. We've got it in, we've got it in some other things. So we're going to put the garlic. As soon as I pick it all up. Garlic's going to come right on over into the pan. And we're using the same pan that we did the veggies in. So those flavors from the squash and the mushrooms and the salt and the pepper, that's all in the,
Okay.
that's all in there. Just adding to the flavor. I'm going to take a section of lemon and squeeze this in there. This has a nice citrusy lemon flavor, which again just kind of keeps the palate open, keeps things light, keeps things yummy and delicious. Again, salt and pepper.
A little bit of pinch.
And then our cream.
Now, how much
Oh,
cream
we
is
got a
that?
question.
What's that?
How much cream?
I kind of go, like when I'm doing a sauce like this, I'll slowly add it until we get to just where the pan curves up,
So depending on your pan.
depending on the pan.
We got a question.
Yes.
It says, "Hey guys, I got here late. Can anyone tell me what's in the ravioli?" So what?
Sure, absolutely.
No.
In the ravioli. No, that's it. You're,
Secret.
you're late.
Gone.
What's in the ravioli, we did spring vegetables. We have zucchini, acorn squash, garlic, portobello, and green onions, and turnips. And we sauteed that all down, got it nice and tender. We put it in a food processor, and we minced it down to this so we could fill the raviolis and eliminate a lot of the air pockets and things like that.
Can I have a taste of that? Is that weird?
No, not at all. Here. This is the other thing I like to do is always make sure you've got a bunch of spoons sitting off to the side
Nice.
because you want to make sure you're tasting everything.
Is it good?
Oh my god, that's really good.
Uh-huh.
You
Let me
like-
try.
Okay, you don't mind.
Oh, I don't know where
I
you've
don't
been.
know.
Oh, jeez.
Well, from this show, nowhere.
Whoa.
No, I meant from what I was saying earlier about not dating.
Yeah.
About my dating life. No.
That's incredible.
That seems to be a common theme this episode.
I know.
Just fine.
Actually, that was really. I could eat that just like that.
As is, yeah.
That was really good. That's awesome.
You could put that in a grilled portobello.
You can also
Wow,
if you just want to use that as a side vegetable, feel free. Because it makes a great side vegetable too, just like for steak or chicken or anything like that. So the raviolis are finishing up. I'm gonna get some room here for some plates.
Cool.
Okay, so how long do you let is it curdling your milk or your cream?
The cream, and we're just gonna let it cook down. As it simmers, it's gonna thicken,
Okay.
and that will be our sauce.
You don't worry about it getting
That's it?
messed up with the lemon and the cream? No?
No, you just do it a little bit at a time. I need these.
Oh, your fire's out on your pasta. Your pasta. The fire? There you go.
It's still hot. We love hot water. Actually, pasta loves hot water more than I do.
Yeah.
So as you can see, food cam, if you want to come in here real quick, your cream sauce is boiling away. You can already see that it's getting a little bit thicker. We are going to, because we're serving guests, and you do that so you adjust your flavor.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
A little bit more lemon.
So all that is lemon and cream.
Lemon,
and
cream,
garlic.
and
just
garlic.
salt. Okay, and garlic. Okay.
We're going to do a little more salt in there.
So you don't have to add flour or anything, or
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
It's going
interesting.
to thicken up all by itself.
Really,
And there they are.
cream sauces are my favorite.
This is going to kind of be the last part for this cream sauce right here. Back to that fresh
That's the
herb
herb
blend.
Okay.
Nice.
And what is it again? It's oregano, parsley.
We've got
Thyme.
thyme, basil, oregano, and rosemary in here.
Okay. Which is a great combination.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I really like, those kinds of aromatics.
Yeah, they went together perfectly. Oh my gosh.
And then
When are
your
you going
pasta.
to Nebraska?
June?
In June.
Yeah.
Ah.
We got about 30 seconds in those already, and then
Okay.
we'll get you.
Oh,
Let me clear
that was
these for you.
awesome. Should I get another fork? Or
Yeah, I'll
keep
get you.
that
I'll get you a new
okay,
fork.
sorry.
Throwing knives at me.
Thank you.
Well, honestly, that I look at this, it looks really simple. I'm not just like it doesn't look as overwhelming. Like when someone says make your own pasta, you're like no, but it
Right.
it doesn't
You've never
seem as
made your own pasta?
I'm lazy. To be honest,
There's
everything sounds better in my
Very
head.
true.
There's
I know,
the
right?
truth. There's the truth.
But I actually love cooking. I really, truthfully do.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
There you go. That's a good sign.
See,
When it
you're
lets
just-
you take a step back.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
It looks good.
there we go. So we're going to
Really
get our raviolis out. I'm using a slotted spoon so they drain right here. We're going to put them right into our sauce.
How do you know when they're done? Do they float?
They float.
Okay.
And again, you can do the little pinch method on there.
Pinch method's helpful. I usually just use hope.
Hope, the new cooking method.
Exactly.
And you just kind of, all I'm doing here, nothing fancy. We're not, launching anything into outer space or anything. We're just kind of switching them around, getting a little coating on them. You can just see, the smoothness in your cream sauce. So there's no flour or anything in
That
there.
is so pretty.
And I'll show that to you guys here at home on the food cam. No flour or anything in there. Just the cream. You're letting the cream and the proteins in the cream do their thing.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? The creams and the proteins do their thing.
Making the sauce thicken.
Okay.
So we got that. A little extra sauce on there for you. Food cam, I hope you can see that. I'm going to give you guys just a little more herbs, like that. We're going to give you some shaved Parmesan on here,
Oh my gosh.
like this.
Let's make it pretty.
This is my favorite kind of Parmesan, is the shaved like this. You can get the crumbles, you can get the stuff you want.
Okay. Why
want
is
the
that?
shave.
Why?
Again, more flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Just
give you
curious.
A little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle here. There we go. So there is our spring vegetable ravioli. And the good thing about pasta too, especially if you're doing noodles, you can make it ahead of time, hang it over some wooden dowels, let it dry, and all of that.
Okay.
So
Should we try it?
I'm gonna, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and dig in.
It's very hot.
As you guys dig in, I'm gonna kind of say goodbye to our viewers
Okay.
at home.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Wait,
I'll be back to join you in a
I
second.
almost feel like for our viewers, I have to try it so they can say
Oh,
how awesome it is.
please,
Hold on,
yes.
hold on.
Taste that.
Oh, here it
Well,
is.
Yeah. Is it?
Oh my god.
Do we pass? Do
Oh my
do I
god.
get, do I
That
get
is so good.
my Italian passport back? Or
Jeez.
will I be
Molto
welcome?
bueno. Isn't it? Molto bueno.
Molto bueno. Sì.
Molto bueno.
Excellent.
There you go.
Grazie,
Thank you.
grazie.
Grazie.
So good.
I'm gonna go say goodbye to some people. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you again at home for joining us
Oh my gosh,
for the
okay.
second episode of Eat, Taste, Live Live. I'm Chef Andrew Doyle. These recipes are all online for you to download. This episode will be on our website Monday if you want to rewatch it. And then we are going to have the future episodes available for download. So thank you again. We're not here without your support. We thank you very much for all of your support that we've received so far. We will see you next week. I'm Chef Andrew Doyle. See you next week at 2
I
p.m.
love a good cream sauce.
Have a good afternoon.
I love a good cream sauce.